Hey team, I just want to make a video updating about the food challenge that I'm doing right now. It is $23 for the month for groceries, inspired by food benefits. The minimum that you can receive for seniors is $23. And so I just wanted to see what that would be like if I just had $23 for groceries. And of course, that is, income based too. So they probably have a decent amount coming in through other avenues, through other outlets. So that would probably be why that would be that low. But you just never know who has what in medical expenses and other expenses like that you can't really not pay those things. So that doesn't mean that you have that income for money or that income for food. So I was giving it a try, $23 per this month. And ah, I did say I can use whatever I've got in my pantry as well. So it wouldn't be just the $23 worth of groceries, but I got the groceries and I had to wait. I got a 24 pack of ramen for like under $10, just slightly under $10. And I was like, well, it was vegan ramen, so I had to order it special. But it didn't come until later in the month, but I ate it way too fast. I don't know what happened because growing up, I always just needed like one bag of ramen. And that was it. And I even started eating it as soup, and I never ate it as soup when I was growing up, and it was always enough. But this time around, probably because I'm doing a food challenge, I was like, I need 2 bags of ramen. 2 bags of ramen at all times, and which is just really not helpful when you only got $23 for groceries. So, and I had already spent it all, and I was feeling pretty all right when I went grocery shopping at the store because I was like, I've got at that point, I already had the ramen, I think, already ordered. So I knew that I was going to have X number of dollars to spend grocery shopping. And so I went in, I was like, I've got about $14. And so I went in and I was like, okay, we can do this. And I got a couple of bags of frozen veggies. I wanted to get some sugar because I know that like I had rice and a lot of grains in my pantry. So I was like, that's going to definitely come into play in this if I'm only doing $23 this month. I'm going to use my pantry items. And I've got quinoa, and I think sometimes that's not great without anything on it. So and I've had rice as well. But that was kind of getting lower. It was dwindling in the pantry. So I was like, if I just add sugar, it can be a really nice breakfast food because I have had that for breakfast before in the past. And so I was like, sugar. And then I looked at it and I could not do it. I was like, no, I don't think I can afford it. And I ended up having to put it back. And I feel exceptionally healthy right now. I also did not pick up any oil, so I haven't been able to fry anything. And that is one of my favorite ways to have vegetables, like the vegetables that I got with my $23. I like to fry them with a little bit of oil in the frying pan and add a little bit of seasoning. But in my pantry, I, of course, don't have like the optimum seasonings right now because last month I used all the garlic, which is one of my favorites. And as well as there was a balsamic like vinegar seasoning, and I finished that. That was so good. Anyway, and it had like rosemary in it, and I think garlic was in it too, but it was so good. But I was out of that. So, and I got another one that I thought was going to be good, but it was kind of Mexican, and it was too much salt for me. And it was also, I was hoping I would like it, but I just wasn't as keen on the lime. And so I had that in my pantry, and it's like, well, this is good. I'm going to have to use it at some point anyway. And so I don't really like the seasonings that I have, and and so it's been just an interesting month because I didn't get the sugar to make the grains taste just magically better, and then I don't have the best seasonings for them anyway. And so um, it's been a lot of the ramen, and it's been a lot of noodles. I had a lot of noodles in my pantry. And so it's, I've been using the stove top a lot, which I don't like, a lot of electric, and it's a lot of rehydrating of foods. And I feel like that means that they're more processed than others and when they're dried. And I just have felt so like weighed down with like the pastas and the so that was like, oh, I don't want any more pastas. And then I've actually been okay. I haven't overextended myself on the veggies. If I had had the oil for the veggies would be gone already, no doubt. So that actually probably saved the veggies from being eaten right away. But yeah, so for the $23, I got um, I got the ramen, the 24 pack, for about $10 online to make sure it was vegan because you can't always find that in stores. Then I got the veggies. I got like 3 packs for like $3 or so. And then I got a package of peanuts for protein. Um, I do have pinto beans that need to be rehydrated, and I got those a long time ago. I bought them in bulk when I was being more active on my zero waste initiative, and they've just been hanging out just because I was like, this is a lot of work to rehydrate beans because it's you have to have that. I was like, this isn't very good for my electric footprint and water because it's like it's a decent amount of water, and then you have to have the stovetop on for like an hour or 2 hours, and I was just, but it's not actually 2 hours. It was it's like a 2 hour process, and one of the hours does have a simmer going, and so it's like chili. I don't know why I was so but anyway, so I did not rehydrate those beans for a very long time. And they were like more firm than you would normally find in like a canned bean. But I was going zero waste. And so I bought in bulk, but actually I did actually come to like those quite a bit, and I found a decent seasoning mix which involved garlic. So so I've been without optimum spices on that front. um so I yeah, yes, it's been not the greatest, feeling bogged down with all the pastas. I don't like that it takes however long on the stovetop, plus all the water that goes into it. With after my water initiative last year, reusing the gray water and stuff like that. It is more energy intensive. I like the stuff that you can kind of just grab and go. So I'll have to remember if I do this again next month, which I'm not sure. I probably definitely will, because that's the next part of the challenge. Because what happens when your pantry runs out and you still just have $23? It's I don't know how that's gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to survive. But it's been interesting because like just going to any store, you're like, I want to grab a beverage, or I want to grab a granola bar on my way out the door, or it's just a nice treat. And it's been like, no. And I wanted to have a little bit of sugar in the mornings, and I had that craving, and I was like, no, I'm gonna have to wait until I get to work and then have tea at work. And so I was like, it's been tough. It's very tough. And I was having like ramen noodles for like every meal, even though I did have other noodles, but I was like, I just had noodles for every meal. And so I'm swapping to ramen noodles for every meal. And now the ramen noodles are gone. I ate them way too fast. And so now it's like, now I just have the frozen veggies left, and I've still got like 15, what day is it today? Today is the 18th. So we have 31 days. So 2, 3, 13 days left. I have 13 days left and about 2 weeks, and I've just got vegetables, but I do have the beans. I have the pinto beans left in my pantry, and I've got quinoa, but I've already eaten quinoa for like 4 meals in a row or so. No, because that's right. No, I had, it feels like every meal in a row, but it was actually just breakfast and lunch. And then I have for the last 2 days, and then I have been baking carrots as French fries, but I don't have the oil and I don't have the garlic, so they're not completely divine, delightful French fries. They're dry, but I didn't want to put other seasoning on because I don't want the salt. That was too much salt. And I had so much of that on the quinoa at lunch and breakfast to make it palatable that there's just, not, it's just, so it's a lot of repetition and a lot of like just dealing with it. So it's not ideal even remotely, at all. So I ran out. I with my $23, I bought protein with as in the form of a canister of peanuts. Those were gone probably within the first week because I was having like a cup, 2 or 3 cups, probably 2 times a day. I just really like those, and so I didn't pace myself very well. And I am vegan, so I do need protein, but you only need 3 servings of protein a day. 3 servings of protein in a day, and so it's not a big deal that I overdid it, and I should have not. But so that was gone within the first week, within the first like 5 days, probably. And I bought apple juice, and that was gone within the first 5 days as well. And so it's tough. Oh, I think I did purchase a loaf of bread. That was gone probably within a week and a half. So it's been hard. It's been, thank goodness I had a very well stocked pantry, even if it's not spiced ideally. But it's kind of woken up that notion of, gosh, if I'm very very blessed in that I use my credit card if I can't afford my groceries. So I've not felt this burn, this inability to just do it anyway and then cover it, at another time type. So I haven't experienced that probably for years. So it's been different. So I am very privileged in that. Um, I do have very good credit. Let me just throw that out there. But you are supposed to build your credit in some fashion. So you have to spend some money in order to show that you're responsible in spending money. So, but I do have good credit, and I have loved being able to utilize that credit to not feel impoverished, even if / when I was. I think that was a huge difference, and it is amazing. But I just couldn't imagine what you would do if you couldn't afford spices, because spices can be very expensive, like $8, for like a thing of garlic that's like that big. That's it can get very expensive. $10 for who's it, what's it, and it can be a lot. And so if you only have $23, you're not going to spend $10 on a thing of spices. I mean, you could maybe get a little thing for like $4 or $3, or depending on what it is. And but it's that's the same as a bag of vegetables that would last longer than 2 meals, because the bags that you get for like $1 are like this. They're very small. That was not a good demonstration, but they're very small. They're like they're not large like bulk, which I am accustomed to purchasing, because I would go use my credit card, purchase in bulk at a large a large vendor, and then just not go back for groceries for a couple months. That was my one of my previous strategies. And so I'm used to just having veggies in abundance. And so this is, it's been a challenge. Try not to pout. So, but gosh, take care of people who do not have access to food, because it's actually completely a wake up call if you are not able to buy the groceries that you want, to have the groceries that you want, to eat balanced meals. It's to eat varied meals. It is very, very tough. And so definitely remember to have compassion for those who are impoverished, for those who cannot afford groceries, for those who do not have access to groceries, who do not have access to balanced meals. It is difficult. So, okay, here's to 2 more weeks of beans, pinto beans, and quinoa. I do have onions, so that has been helping with the quinoa. And I've got bags of carrots, so that'll probably be good for more carrot fries for a couple weeks too. But that is all the food that I have right now because I ate I used up the rest of the flour. I used up the masa harina from last month's Mexican food challenge, and I haven't had sugar to make like breads with yeast or to make um, pancakes or so it's but I was running low on flour in the masa anyway, and so I ran out of that, and so here we go. We'll keep going with this. Thanks. Bye.